Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this January 27th version of AM Live on EOA. We're your connection to Eastern Oregon, and we are glad that you are here. If you want to find our content, you go to EOA.network. That takes you to a link tree where you can find the locations where all of our stuff is distributed, along with a place where you can donate to and support EOA Live if you would like to. Here in a little bit, I'll tell you just a kind of a fun story about that. But anyhow, glad that you are here with us. And here in a little bit, we are going to have Kevin Rainey and one of his assistants, Xavier, are going to be here from Youth for Christ. And they're going to talk to us about their upcoming fundraiser this weekend, actually. So how are you, man?
I'm good.
Good.
Second Monday.
Yeah.
It's already here.
Yeah.
Time is flying. January is almost over. This is the last week of January already.
I know. It's crazy. 2026.
1/12 of the way through
Yeah.
the new year.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
When did that happen?
I woke up. It was like that.
That's right. Oh,
It's wild. It's just things are moving fast.
Yeah.
I want a slow down button.
So yeah, so I was referring to our little place where people can give. Funny little story. So our webcam, we have a weather cam that's out on the turret of the building where we are at, and it runs 24/7, and it kind of does a little sweep of downtown. And it's surprising how many people watch that video, but we don't know how many people watch the weather cam until it's not working. And so I got an email the other day from a guy asking when it was going to be back up. And if you are somebody who watches the weather cam, it shows up on our YouTube first, and then we take that stream, and then it goes onto our website. So if it's ever down on the website, it probably is up on YouTube. Anyhow, so I explained that to the gentleman and did my common thing, like if you enjoy the content, then please tell your business friends to consider advertising on EO Live, because that's the way that these kinds of things are supported. And I got the email back, and he said, well, hey, I don't live in the area, but is there a way I can donate and to the cause? And so he went to EOA.network and found that little thing at the bottom where they can donate. And yeah, and
It's called coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
That little thing at the bottom.
Yeah, and he sent us $100 yesterday. Like, yeah. So shout out to him. Thank you so much. He doesn't live in the area. That was what he had been in LeGrand years ago and tuned in on the weather cam. So yeah. Thank you for watching our stuff, and thank you for supporting us. So yeah.
I mean, watching a weather cam's not for me, but it is for some people. I mean, that's like watching CNN to me. Like,
yeah.
Like, people leave their TV on CNN all day.
Yeah.
It's like, doesn't it re-roll? I mean, what do you, like, out here, if you're watching the weather cam, it's, I mean, from certain hours of the day, it's the same thing.
Yeah, right? And there's no music or anything. It's just, yeah.
We could figure out a way to put some music on.
Well, we thought about it, but the whole licensing mess, is just, anyhow. Yeah, well, hey, you want to do sports?
We'll do it.
All right.
AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress, engineered to provide superior support where you need it most. The Sealy Posturepedic Collection delivers long-lasting, personalized comfort for everybody. Find your perfect Sealy Posturepedic mattress today at Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Big red rocking chair on Elm off Adams in LeGrand. The LHS Boys Wrestling took 7th place over the weekend at the Research Tournament of Champions. They were the number 2 4A school overall. There was only one 4A school that beat us, and that's Sweet Home, who is ranked number 1 in the state right now. We're ranked number 2. We had one champion and 2 placers. Tommy Belding won his unprecedented 3rd Research Tournament of Champions. Nobody in LeGrand High School history has ever done that. And I mean, I'm going to say it right now. So 2 state championships, 4 Milenbergs, 3 Research. Tommy's the GOAT of LHS wrestling. There's no doubt about it. I mean, his accolades are, I mean, nobody's ever done what he's what he's done as a wrestler at LHS, and this fall at the end, we're going to see if he can bring home his third state championship. Dex Dunlap got 4th at 215, and Colton Livingston got 5th at 138 pounds. Those pictures are courtesy of Arlie Anderson and Sean Belding. Boys wrestling team is in Baker tonight with a duel. JV starts at, I believe, 5, I think, and then varsity right after. The LeGrand girls wrestling team took 6th place at the Hood River Valley Invite over the weekend. They were the top Oregon 4A team. They had 1 champion, 5 placers, another championship in a tournament for Maddie Armstrong at 190 pounds. Emmeline Livingston got 3rd at 130. Sydney Azure got 4th at 125. Riley Lease got 5th at 110. Ella Ristine got 8th at 105. And Eiley May got 6th at 100. Those photos were courtesy of Amanda May and Serena Radke. LHS girls basketball went on the road and beat the Dallas Saturday 62-34. The girls are 9-8 overall and 2-0 in the GOL. They're ranked to number 9 in the state. Big ones on Friday over in Pendleton. The girls go take on the Bucks. That game tips off at 6. The boys basketball team went to Washington last night and they took on Columbia High School in Burbank. The game went down to the wire. Burbank hit like 3 or 4 threes down the stretch. We were up by like 9, I want to say. And we ultimately lost 65-62. The boys are 9-8, 1-1 in the GOL, and ranked number 14th in the state. They go to Pendleton as well. That game's right after the girls' game. This is on Friday, tipping off at 7:30. Congratulations to LHS senior Renee Hutchinson. She recently signed to continue her athletic and academic career at TVCC, where she'll be a member of the track and field team and specialize in the high jump. EOU track and field had a great weekend at the Lauren McCuskey Invite. The Mounties had 13 top 25 school marks. Keaton Moore won the 60 in 6.81 seconds, breaking his own EOU record in the process. Justin Krabenhoff put up 5,465 points in the heptathlon, which is the highest score in the NAIA this year in the country and qualifies him for nationals. The 4x400 men's team added a win to round off the weekend. For their efforts, Moore was named the CCC Track Athlete of the Week, and Krabenhoff was named the CCC and National Field Athlete of the Week. EOU women's basketball beat Walla Walla and lost to LCSC over the weekend. The men's team did exactly the same. Both teams are right at the top of the conference right now, and those road games are tough when you do a back-to-back and have to go play a ranked team. They both host College of Idaho tonight, which is huge games for EOU. The home games, it's called going yote hunting. Everybody wears camo. It's the women's game tips off at 5:30 at Quinn, and the men tip off at 7:30. So if you don't have anything going on, get up there and support these basketball teams. They're pretty exciting this year. And finally, Solo Taylor has been hired as the 13th head football coach in Eastern Oregon University history. Solo played at EOU from 2020 to 2022, was a 3-time first-team all-conference player, linebacker. He's been on the coaching staff since his playing career ended. Last year, he was the defensive coordinator of arguably one of the best Mountie defenses in history. The defense was definitely not the problem last year. And towards the end of the week here, I'm thinking probably like Thursday, I'm going to have him in for an interview, so you'll get to hear him talk about his plans for the program and moving forward. AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress in LeGrand. Go check out their showroom.
Good stuff. Thanks, man.
Yep.
All right. Let's take a look outside. And it's kind of how it's been. It's like cool, no moisture. I didn't have frost on my windshield this morning, thank you, because I was running a little bit late. But let's take a look at that weather graphic, Bennett. And that's the weather cam that if you go to our page, that's what you see on it. So 43 today, 32 tonight, and it looks like it's kind of going to be in that range for the next several days.
It's going to warm up as the week goes on.
Yeah.
Get all the way up to 40.
Saturday, this weekend, it'll be in the almost 50 degrees. So, but it doesn't look like there was much moisture there.
That's
So,
good.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Well, hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with Kevin, Rainey, and Xavier from Eastern Oregon Youth for Christ. All right, we are back with the Youth for Christ guys. How are you?
Good.
Doing
well.
Thanks
Yep.
for having us on the show.
Yeah, you
Thank you
bet.
very much.
Yeah, and this is, the reason you're on today is, we've talked before, but you have an event coming up this weekend.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so give me the details about that real quick.
Yeah, so we have our annual fundraiser banquet and benefit happening this Friday and Saturday. So Friday, it's open doors are going to open at 6 p.m., dinner will be at 7, and then on Saturday it's at 5 p.m. the doors open and dinner at 6 and the program begins. And be a great opportunity to come and hear some stories of hope from kids and hear about what Youth for Christ has been doing and some exciting things that we've got going on with growth and different things in the valley here. So if you're interested, we do have tickets available. So we're doing a little different. For years we've always done host tables. We're still doing that as well. So you may get a invite from a host and be at their table, but then we also have tickets that are for purchase as well, that are $45 a person to come and have an amazing catered meal from Class Act Catering, and they always do a phenomenal job. And the food's worth it alone.
Well,
Yeah.
let's get to the importance, though. What is the food?
Oh, well, we always have beef fontanini, which is an amazing roast beef that they have used for years that I can't get away from because it's too good. And then this year we're doing a Hawaiian chicken that we haven't done before. That's going to be really good, I think. And then a couple
All
different
the
salads and all the sides and bread and desserts. And I mean, it's a 5-course meal, it feels like. We'll have a charcuterie grazing table that they can graze at as they come in, and a little drink area that kids will be bringing drinks to guests and stuff that are there. And should be a great evening all the way around.
Yeah.
Both nights. So.
Cool.
And this is the first time we've done 2
Yeah.
nights. We've always just done one night, which I will say it adds a little stress to the whole thing, having 2 nights. But
Yeah.
I think it'll be a lot of fun, and it does give a little more opportunity for people to be involved because, maybe you can't make it on Friday because you're at a basketball game in Pendleton,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So,
That's where I'll be.
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, and this is the first time we're not doing a stream in several years. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe talk about a little bit about what you've done in the past, and then how we adapted during COVID, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Yeah, we're kind of getting back to our roots now. So originally, for many years, we had it down at Valley Fellowship, which is Grand Run Academy now, and we'd have a big one-night event where we'd have about 220 people there and have a big presentation and share everything. But then when COVID hit, obviously we couldn't be in person, so we had to get a little creative. So thankfully, the caterers didn't kill me with the ideas that I came up with of trying to do home hosts. So we actually had home hosts for a few years, where instead of being in person, you would invite people over to your house, come get the meal from us, enjoy the meal, watch the presentation live, basically through you guys with live streaming it, and that way people from anywhere could participate and be a part of it. But really feel like we've kind of turned that corner finally with COVID, where people are like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be in person if we can, and biggest thing, we want to get our kids back involved where they're serving and being a part of it, because that was always a huge piece of the one we did at Valley, was having kids that were actually helping to serve the tables and be there throughout the night and seat people and take people's coats and do those kind of things. We just want to help teach those kids some service responsibilities and just get some spotlight on them too.
Yeah.
Give them an opportunity to interact socially with people, which is harder and harder these days, feels like. So
Yeah. Well, so Kevin, you've told your story a couple of different times here, but you've been, I don't know, tell me, you and Kim have been the executive directors for
19 years
19
now,
years.
yeah.
A long
Going
time.
on, this next year will be 20. Well, this year, 2026 will be 20 in
Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
been there just a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and when you came in, you were experts.
hardly.
Yeah.
I still aren't.
Talk a little about your story.
Yeah. So, I mean, I knew about YFC because our church had done mission trips with them way back then, but I'd never actually been involved at all when I was in school or anything. I wasn't even a believer when I was in school.
Yeah.
So it was, I think 10 years after I'd graduated and I had become a follower of Christ and was involved in the Baptist church locally and going to Moody Bible Institute and thinking that Kim and I would have to move somewhere to do youth ministry more than likely, because that's where I felt called. And then this position came up with Youth for Christ. And actually, one of the board members at the time attended our church and walked in one Sunday and handed me an application and said, I think you better apply for this. So I hadn't, up to that point, and hadn't even thought about it. But yeah, it was definitely a calling from God, because, it was definitely something I didn't expect, as far as it was way different than regular youth group ministry.
Right. Yeah.
But it fit well with all of the stuff I had done growing up and being a little bit of a knucklehead and getting in trouble and hanging out sometimes with the wrong crowds and doing those kind of things. We end up serving a lot of those, what we call kind of fringe kids that, don't have a sport that they're involved in or a band or something like that. So they don't have an identity other than they're a high school student sometimes. So a lot of times J-House kind of becomes that identity for a lot of these kids, and somewhere for them to belong and participate and be a part of something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been an amazing journey, but it's, like I said, I think even 19 years in, every day I'm learning something about new things, especially as we're trying to expand into other communities and grow, and shifting gears from being direct ministry to allowing Xavier to be taking on most of the direct ministry stuff locally and growing the ministry locally and being able to, keep it the way we want it to be at the quality level it's been for years, because we have an amazing group of volunteers, about 45 volunteers that are involved through the different programs, week in and week out, pouring into kids.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and you functioned in a house there for a long time.
We did, yeah.
Kind of tell us the story about the youth center, which is, I don't know, is it 5 years old now?
Yeah, I think almost 6.
Yeah.
So, so we had a little house that the board had purchased back in, I think it was like 1990 or somewhere in there. We've been in the community since 1988. And so we had a little under 1,000 square foot house that we did ministry out of for almost 30 years. And kids would come over, we'd still do our lunch programs and drop-in center and club nights and everything that we do now. Obviously, it was a lot smaller scale because of the size of the facility and what we had to do, or we'd end up having to always go somewhere to do big events and stuff. But the board and myself, we had a vision early on of wanting to expand because we could see the potential need for kids in the community and a space for them to have somewhere to go that didn't cost them money to hang out and be have positive influences and just somewhere to be in a lot of cases for a lot of our kids. So it took about 12 years of fundraising because we had made a commitment on the front end that we weren't going to go into debt in the process of building that facility. And then it, of course, cost way more than we anticipated because that's how building projects are. But so I mean, all said and done, it took us, I think, about 2 years of construction, 12 years of fundraising, and then we were able to get it constructed with a whole lot of help from the community. There's a lot of in-kind donation and contractors and people that gave it their time and their talents to make that happen, and donated a lot of in-kind on top of it. But all said and done, I think we figured the project was somewhere about 1.3 million by the time we're done. Original estimates were going to be about 650 to 700,000,
Right.
so only double
Yeah.
what we were thinking. But yeah, the Lord has really blessed it. Opened a lot of doors there for us, and now we're able to serve more kids at lunch. So we're averaging about 220 kids that are coming over to lunch each day. We do Taco Tuesdays and mac and cheese and chicken nuggets on Thursdays.
220 kids each day?
Each day.
Each day you do it.
Yeah.
And you do. And
2 days a week that we do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of food. To
Do
say the
you
least.
think that these kids aren't like they're not coming because they're hungry. They're coming because this is like double lunch, right?
Well, they're
For a
hungry.
lot of them.
They're teenagers.
Well, I know, okay, but you know what I mean. They aren't
Yeah.
going to starve if they
No,
don't
no,
come
they're
there.
not starving.
Yeah, okay. So
99%
most of
of
them,
them.
yeah.
I mean, there's probably a select few that have some food insecurities at home and things like
course.
that. But we don't worry about that. It's free for everybody across the board. So we want to, bless kids in the middle of the day and give them somewhere to go hang out for their 35 minutes they get of lunch, and then head back to classes, and then we do the drop in after school. But yeah, it's a lot of food that we're serving. We're serving somewhere around 50 pounds of burger every Tuesday, cooked up for tacos, and
This year's also a special milestone for us. We broke over 300 served
that's
on one
true.
day.
Yeah.
In the past, like last year, it was around 270 as our highest, but this year we hit over 300
Wow.
this school year.
That's crazy. Do you know why that particular day was?
There must not have been any sports. 'Cause usually there's some
Everybody
team
was,
traveling or something, so it
Yeah.
just depended. Yeah, it
Nice
ebbs
weather,
and
maybe.
flows so much,
Yeah.
it's hard to tell. Because, 1 week we'll have, we average about 220, but 1 week we'll have like 180, the next week we'll have 280,
Finals
on the
week.
same lunch. And you're like, okay, well, I have no clue why that is, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, thankfully, with the drop-in center, most of it doesn't go to waste. So then the middle schoolers get to come and eat whatever was left over from lunch a lot of times, and when they're hanging out from 3 to 5 up there.
Yeah.
So
So Xavier, you and I connected. We've been doing student interviews, Kevin, for I don't know.
20 years.
Yeah, yeah, and 15. This is our 16th year.
Okay.
So yeah, and so
Quite a coincidence.
and one of the students that we interviewed those years that we did a video on was you as a kid. I don't know. You were in high school. I'm trying to remember what year were you when we did that interview?
7th
Do you
grader,
recall?
8th grader.
Yeah, I think I was 8th grade.
Yeah.
Going into 9th maybe.
Yeah.
I've been involved with the J House and Youth for Christ for 16 years.
Yeah.
This year.
Wow.
So I started as a youth. I moved here from Boise, and I didn't get connected right away in my 6th grade year, but
Yeah.
starting in my 7th grade year, I was invited over by a couple of friends, came over to check it out. I was a little hesitant at first because I just heard, it's a place that you go after school, you play video games and drink soda and you just have a fun time. I'm like, it's a party house, no thanks. But I went, and I was immediately welcomed in by Kevin, and just didn't care where I came from, what problems I had, was just, come on in.
Yeah.
And so that immediate loving welcome brought me back day after day. And so for the rest of that year, I kept coming back and attending to just our club nights and going to fundraisers, and I was so deeply involved that while I hated God and the idea of God during that time, I felt more and more drawn to this location and to the people there each passing day. And then eventually got to the point where I was asked to come on and share my experience during the banquet and do the video with you and Kevin, and kind of just talk about just how my life has changed so much over the years. And so here we are now, 16 years later about, and I have been in this position now as site director for the J House for the past year.
Wow.
So for a year now, I've been on staff with Kevin up at the building and just learning what it takes to just be really committed and just serving just the Lord and these kids.
Wow. Let's go back to when you first came and you first. I mean, what was your life like then? Because a lot of the kids that you guys are trying to reach are kids that they don't really have a connection someplace else. I mean, is that kind of how you were back then? Yeah. I mean, talk to me a little bit about where you were at that time and why that was so critical for you.
Yeah. So my dad had died a couple of years prior to me moving here from Boise, and my parents had split when I was younger. So 4 years old, they had broken up. They were still married, never got divorced, but they just weren't together anymore. So I lived with my grandparents in Boise from when I was 4 to when I was about 12, and we had decided that my mom had gotten to a point where she was healthy and stable and was more than willing and able to take care of all of me and my siblings. So I moved up here and got involved. But this is 3 years after my dad died. It was still fresh for me as a young kid. And so I didn't have any friends. I wasn't playing any sports. My asthma had started kicking in about that time. So playing basketball wasn't really a thing for me anymore. And so I hated the idea of God, hated anything nice. If he said please or thank you to me, I got mad. And so I then went into a place where the please and the thank you was the norm. It was the expected. And so I was angry. I was lonely and depressed, and I found a place that welcomed me in immediately, and I wanted that. So despite not caring about God, the God people loved me and wanted me to have a good life. So they welcomed me in, and despite continuing to not believe, they continued to welcome me back. When I got in fist fights with other kids and they kicked me out, I came back as soon as I could. Not a month later. If they kicked me out for a week, I was back a week and a day later. As soon as I could, I would come right back. It was my identity. Like Kevin said, for some of these kids that aren't involved in any kind of programs or sports, like I wasn't, coming to the J House became kind of my identity.
Wow. So now when you see kids come in, almost 300 of them in a day, are there times that God identifies some of them in your eyes that is like that kid needs a connection and he doesn't have one?
I don't think I've ever personally seen any kind of focus point.
Right.
But it's the kind of the inverse. So instead of me feeling drawn to a kid is drawn to me instead. And so it's welcoming kids in. It's, hey, what's your name? And just introducing myself. And then while we're checking kids in, some kids will come up to me and talk to me.
Yeah.
And just, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? Or, hey, you were sick last week. How are you doing? The kids are going to ask about how I'm doing just as easily as I'm going to ask how they're doing. And oftentimes the kids that need the love are going to be the ones that are going to be coming right up to you as quick as possible. Because there wasn't a day that went by that when Kevin came up to the high school for the Tiger Eyes program to kind of just be there and be present, there wasn't a day that Kevin didn't show up and I immediately went right to him because I was a kid that was needing that kind of support, and I was the kid that was needing someone to be comfortable around. And so for these kids now, they're going to come into the building and they're not going to care about food right off the bat.
Yeah.
They're going to come up and they're going to talk to me. And so that gives me then the opportunity to invite them back, to invite them to come to drop-in, to come to clubs, for us to take them out to get coffee or something, because we do our 2-on-1 programs. So this gives us opportunity to be involved in their life and to show that we care about them and to learn more about them. Because we want them to know God, but we also want them to be comfortable and to know that they're loved first.
Are there times you have family members who have followed you, or are there people in your life who have seen this journey over the last 16 years, and they see where you are now? I mean, what do they think about that? I mean, some of them have got to be pretty amazed.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I was the kid that hurt people, got in fistfights, put people in the hospital. Was a kid that you expected to run away or to get hauled in by the cops for doing something wrong. And so my grandparents that live here in town, I showed them hardly any love. But I went from being a rough kid to a kid that did his best to love the people around him despite still struggling. And so, like, my mom has been the most supportive person you could ask for. Helped me through just everything I could even while not being a believer herself. She grew up in the faith and had gone to churches for most of her life, but wasn't someone that believed herself. So even though she didn't believe, she supported me completely and wholeheartedly. My siblings weren't believers themselves, and they didn't really care. So they didn't want to hear the Jesus talk. Aunts and uncles, I had a couple that were believing in town, but ultimately I was the rough kid, and I needed to be treated with the gloves on. And over the years, there's definitely been that change that was visible to them. And when we talk about how I used to be back in the day, it's always with a smile and a laugh of, now look at you now. Look at how much you've grown, look how you've just improved your life, just the way you talk, and the way that you treat people around you. So it's definitely been just a drastic overhaul in the way I perceive myself and the people around me and how I'm perceived by others.
That's awesome. So Kevin, what's that like for you? I mean, to see, yeah, I mean,
It's been a journey.
Yeah, I know you see lots of, I mean, are you seeing generations of kids yet? Are you seeing kids of kids?
I am starting to see the kids of kids that are coming to, a lot of our middle schoolers now, I know their parents, and their parents were involved as kids themselves at one point. So no, it's been it's been a surreal journey the Lord's put us on. Xavier definitely was one of the tougher kids I had early on, just as far as control and just. I remember even the first camp he went to, we couldn't even have a cabin time with the kids in the cabin because Xavier was so outspoken, anti-God, that it was like, okay, well, this isn't going to work so well to have any conversation with anybody else. So one of us always had to go on a walk with Xavier when we were having our cabin time and have a private conversation kind of thing. But no, I mean, it's been amazing to see his journey, see what God's done in his life and how he's used him and grown him. I mean, his siblings have come to YFC and camps and different stuff. His niece is involved now. I mean, it's the next generation, and he's doing an amazing job of leading the ministries as far as the drop-in times and clubs and even lunch to an extent of being there. And it's really allowed me to be able to step back from being direct ministry with kids as much. I mean, I still do some, obviously. It's always going to be a part of my DNA. I don't think I can ever get away from it fully. But it does allow us to look at, okay, well, how can we have the same kind of impact in a community like Union or a community like Elgin or Embler or Cove or North Powder, other places in the county, which has been a long-term vision of the board and myself. So I kind of feel like we're at a spot finally where we're hiring the right people and getting the right people in place to be able to start growing into those communities and doing the same kind of ministry for kids in those communities, because as you well know, there's even less resources and things for kids out in the outlying communities as there is in LeGrand, and there's not a whole lot in LeGrand for kids at times. I mean, beyond the bowling alley, there's not a whole lot left for kids to go do other than a movie theater.
So how's that going? Tell me. I mean, that's been a goal. How are you guys doing in kind of having some of these satellite ministries?
Yeah, well, we're just kicking them off, starting to. So we actually partnered with a church out in Union, Carpenter's House Church, and did a joint hire of Zach Girdner, who just came on this month. So he'll be our new campus life site director out in Union and be working with middle school and high school students out there and kick off all of our ministry programs that are not happening currently out there. We probably won't have lunch right away because we don't have a facility and stuff to do that with, but hoping to see if we can figure out a way to do drop-ins and clubs at least. And then otherwise he'll be at the church part-time as their youth pastor, helping to grow that ministry as well and do some discipleship and needed things that the church needed. So it's been kind of a neat partnership, and we're hoping to be able to do that same thing in other communities. You know, kind of in the long-term vision here, every couple of years, hopefully launch a new site and start growing that as long as the Lord blesses it and guides us in that direction and brings the right partnerships too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so but yeah, it's been exciting to have him on staff now, and kind of starting to get his feet wet. So he's staying shadowing Xavier quite a bit and being here local, doing drop-ins and some of the club times and different things, and getting involved and just learning what YFC ministry looks like and how we do outreach, so that when he's there, he can, you know, launch that with a group of volunteers and start engaging kids out there for sure.
Now, you mentioned talk to me about some of the other, you have lunches, talk to me about the other programs that you have throughout the week.
Sure. Yeah, so we have a drop-in center there at the J House after school.
Okay.
Goes from 3 to 5.
And
so
what do kids do when they drop in?
So yeah, middle school or high school, they can come over. They check in and hang out there. There's pool table, foosball, air hockey, carpet ball, basketball. So there's all sorts of activities for them to do. And then we do a snack time when we actually have a wheel of names thing that we do where kids come up and tell whoever's running that day, hey, I'd like to serve snack maybe. And then it's kind of like Wheel of Fortune. It draws a name off the list. They get to choose a friend and choose what snack is and actually serve snack to the rest of the kids. So we do that in the middle of everything, just kind of a little snack after school. And then about 4:45 usually we start packing everybody up and we transport kids home. So we have 4 different vehicles, and many times we're using 2 to 3 of them to get everybody home after school, but kind of load them up to the section of town they go and head them home, because we didn't want that to be a barrier for kids that would have to ride a bus or,
Right.
you know, if their parents are still at work. And I know for me, and probably true of Xavier too, when in middle school and high school, the times I got in trouble was when my parents were still at work and I wasn't at school, and it was me and my knucklehead friends hanging out somewhere.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the nice thing is having somewhere for kids to be able to get engaged, and parents go, okay, well, there's adults there. I can trust that, you know, my kid's not going to burn the house down or do something they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, it gives an opportunity for them to have somewhere safe to be, and it really gives us an opportunity as leaders just to start to build relationships, because we're a relational ministry, like Xavier said, starting to get to know kids, love on them, regardless of where they're at with God and Jesus at the point when we meet them, and you know, and regardless, period. I mean, if they never become a believer, we understand that. Unfortunately, that's the reality of life.
Yeah.
It's a personal decision and a personal choice. So, but we want to give them the opportunity to make an informed decision.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, we interview kids every year for the, you know, we produce the videos for you guys and for your banquet. We'd have a little bit of a highlight reel of the 3 kids. Let's play that real quick, Bennett, and so people can hear it.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I'm an 8th grader.
My name is Hayden. I am an 8th grader.
Hi, my name's Hannah. I'm a junior at LaGrange High School.
I have had a rough childhood. When I turned 5, I got diagnosed with leukemia. I do think that going to the J House has helped me.
I used to not believe in God, and going to the club nights, talking to some of the leaders there has been very helpful.
My life in foster care, it's been pretty rough. I couldn't say that I've been alone. I'm so involved with J House. When it's closed, I don't even know what to do after school or anything. The one thing that pops up in my mind when I wake up is, I'm so excited for J House. I can't wait.
Nice. And I got to give some kudos to Bennett, because he's been, you know, a lot of people don't know. You might not know, but what we love telling stories. I mean, it's the very core of what it is that we do. It's at the very core of EOA Live TV and Brent Clapp Productions, and I think the very first production that I ever did as a business was the Thing for Youth for Christ that we played at the banquets, and a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, that's passion. We just really like that. And Bennett, over the years, has become very good at carrying that torch and telling a story, gathering the interviews and weaving them together. And, you know, the videos that he did this year are just fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, he's done an amazing job over the years, and it's not an easy task we give him with interviews of kids, because they can be squirrel shiny all over the place.
Well, yeah, because kids don't. I mean, there are a lot of times they don't talk in complete sentences, and so then putting that together can take an incredible amount of time and stuff.
Yeah. But the kids do an amazing job. I mean, over the years we've had a ton of kids' stories that we've been able to highlight because of you guys and doing this, and they're some of my favorite parts of all of our banquets. Usually is to get to hear the kids' stories. See the heart behind each one of them, and what they're going through and what they've learned and grown in, and how things have, how J House has impacted them, or just how it's impacted their families and stuff, like Xavier was saying. Yeah.
Well, and I was thinking of, I mean, it seems like we did yours down at the skate park. Where did we do your actual interview at? I mean, see, we had some B-roll of you at the skate park or down sitting at a picnic table.
Picnic table down there.
Yeah, but I don't remember. But I
don't remember where all we did it.
Yeah,
been a minute.
It has, but it's always an interesting journey, and this is just kudos to you guys, Kevin. A lot of people who I did youth ministry for 6 years in Seattle. I understand the ins and outs of it, and it's so funny because I'm still Facebook friends with many of those teens, and they're that relationship that I had with them has not changed over the years. I mean, and I think back to when I was a teen and how significant my youth leader was at that time. And in fact, it's kind of interesting. A few years ago, I grew up in Casper, Wyoming, and 11 of those original teen group people and their spouses, we all went on a cruise together. And so, so we're still in communication with each other, and it's just the connections that you make with adults and other people during that time it's just so significant. Yeah. So
yeah, definitely. Very pivotal point in kids' lives, that teen years.
Yeah.
Sure.
So is that rewarding for you, Xavier? I mean, are you feeling like, do you wake up and feel good about what it is that you're doing? Yeah.
So, I mean, volunteering for about 10 years, it was something that I knew I wanted to do early on.
Yeah.
So when I was attending our summer camps, as an early believer, I was seeing the impact that some of these adults were making and just what they were doing and how they were involved. And I said, that's something I want to do. I didn't know how I was going to be involved, but I kept showing up and I started volunteering my time, be it just playing the music at drop-in or serving the snack like the kids do now. And then showing up and participating in the games that we played during our club nights, going on 2-on-1s, learning to just be involved. And then when I found out that there was going to be a position available, I felt that it was something that I wanted to do. I just didn't feel like I was ready for it, or I was the person for it. And so it took a couple of years of kind of talking and growing just a little bit more before I finally said, okay, this is it. This is what I want to be doing. Nothing else has really fulfilled my life like being here. I have another job that I'm doing while I'm volunteering, but that job is to help support me volunteer. And I said, I'm tired of working and doing something else when I'm wanting to be here. And so now that I'm able to wake up every single day knowing that this is my job, and it's something I love to do, is immensely rewarding. And so I get to show up every single day and to just be there with the kids, to love on them, to be that welcoming face that Kevin was for me, and to just be a change in their lives, to be there, to be consistent. Because that's what some of these kids are lacking, is some consistency. They're missing that person in their life that is going to care for them, love on them, and be there during the good and the bad. And we want that for these kids at the J House. We want them to show up, know that the people that are there, the volunteers, Kevin, myself, and Zach, that the people that are going to be there are the same people. They're the same people that you're building connections with. They're the same people that care for you, that are praying for you, and are wanting what's good for you. And to be that person for a lot of these kids is just, it's an amazing feeling. And I can't wait to continue to do this.
That's awesome. Well, very cool. Well, thanks. You guys, give me the details one more time, Kevin, for this weekend.
Yeah, so Friday, doors will open at 6, and program and dinner starts at 7.
Okay.
$45 a ticket. There are still some available tickets and spaces at tables.
The link to get tickets is in the comments.
Oh, perfect, yes. And the link is on there, so you can go to the website and do that, or get a hold of me, or come by the J House, whatever you need to do to let us know.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, it's a little earlier, so doors will open at 5, dinner and program at 6. Amazing meal up there with Class Act catering, and you'll get to hear stories of hope. Like you got a little highlight of some teens in our program, and there'll be teens serving and being a part of it. So it's just usually an amazing event for everybody that comes. It's a great opportunity from different people from different churches and businesses and people like that, just to come and rub elbows and talk with other people and see what's going on in the community, because a lot of times people don't realize what all we're doing and how many we're serving and the impacts that we are seeing. So it's been an amazing ride for 20 years, and I'm hoping for another 20.
Yeah.
Lord willing. We'll see.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being here, guys, and thanks, Xavier, for sharing your story and how cool that is, and so. All right, you want to get us out of here?
Let's do it. On this day, January 27th, 1870, the first sorority, Kappa Alpha Theta, is founded at DePaul University in Greencastle, Indiana. 1880, Thomas Edison patents the electric incandescent lamp. 1948, the first tape recorder is sold. 2013 was the Kiss nightclub fire in Santa Maria, Rio Grande, Brazil. It killed 245 people. The club was over capacity, and it changed the laws for a lot of stuff in South America, but in the whole world, really. 2025 stocks of NVIDIA, the leading supplier of AI chips, lose $588 billion in market value, the most a stock has ever lost in a single day after the release of a Chinese AI model by DeepSeek. That's a lot of money in one day. The #1 movie in America on this day 10 years ago, The Revenant. Quote of the day comes from Ralph Waldo Emerson. It's not the length of life, but the depth. One more time. It's not the length of life, but the depth.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So yeah, and earlier I mentioned the guy, just a shout out, Ken Lilly is the guy from out of town, and he actually lives in Washington. He was here in LeGrand from 44 to 68, and he's the one that watches the weather cam. Thanks, Ken Lilly, for your donation to keep us going. So thank you, guys. Appreciate you. See you soon.